All right, everybody, welcome to HGR on a Sunday night. Way to end the weekend off with not one but two races, MMS to follow after the HGR event, as I got to change something else. All right, there we go. All right, now 8 drivers that posted a lap, all led by the 30 of Carl Lingle, who had a great run the other night, Friday night. So again, Gen 6 action on hand. And of course with these cars, you know, these jokers can be extremely wild with these cars. So right now, some drivers practicing drafting, practicing the runs and whatnot. Looking at Kevin Tempton and actually demand the fastest in practice right now. Carl Lingle, as a matter of fact, practicing bump drafting and pushing. So right now, as we stand, got 8 drivers qualified, but I know there's a little bit more qualified. Now, a few drivers are supposed to practice lap, but I know that some of them haven't posted a lap. So 9, 10, 11, 12 drivers on hand right now with 10 minutes to go. See if we can't find the man that ended up winning the MMS race. John Ward, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, buddy, after a very thrilling finish to the MMS race Friday night, you're walking into the HGR event. How you carrying the momentum from MMS over to the HGR event tonight?
There's definitely some momentum from that. Just gonna carry it on in here and just try to have a good, fun race. We got a good turnout, and we're learning some qualifying right now, and hopefully we can get up there and have some fun. Maybe we could have a good broadcast as well.
Hopefully so, buddy. I hope it'll be good. One last thing. Coming in, of course, the PGR champion, but up until MMS, it was a bit of a rough stretch. But what have you found out with these cars that you can use maybe to your advantage or to your benefit?
Um, I found out that the top side, like if you get up on the top side, they like to run wide open and like the side draft. If you're on that top side, you could really move forward and stuff. You really don't want to get caught on the bottom. But yeah, it's gonna be the pit stop's probably gonna be the main thing. If we ever green flag stop, getting on and off pit road will be probably the main thing here. I'm gonna try to keep it up front and see what we can do.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you. Hope to talk to you at the end of this thing. John Ward right now, third quickest in practice. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you.
Right now, several drivers rolling back out. Justin Johnson, one of them. Michael Barksdale trying to rebound from the last HGR event on Friday night. Right now, Barksdale, one of them, is not posted a lap, but he is by himself. You got to wonder if this is just to see what his qualifying trim will be like. Right now, when we look at Barksdale, actually goes at a 57.91, but that's just the first out lap. He's pretty much, we're gonna see, and I'm sure some of these, they're not just qualifying times. Some of these they've had draft in them. I believe right before we went on the air that a couple drivers were practicing green flag pit stops. Going to be interesting to see how that will play a factor tonight. If it plays a factor like it normally does, it's going to be a very intense race trying to get on and off of pit road. And then again, indeed, Barksdale practicing a qualifying attempt. And it'll be a 52-1. Michael Wingo had a great run going. Really, the last few HGR events, and unfortunately, like so many others, have not been able to put it together. Wingo right now, 52-2-1. Good enough for 10th quickest, the slowest of the drivers who have posted a lap. Meanwhile, they're all chasing this man, Carl Lingle, fastest in practice with just under 6 minutes to go. See if we can't get a word with him. Carl Lingle, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, been a great start to practice for you already. Sitting top of the board with just over 5.5 minutes left to go in practice. Do you feel like the car will be as good as what we saw Friday night?
I hope so. Yeah, but the number you see in practice, that doesn't matter. You need to see that at the end of the race.
And I very well agree with that, but it's always a great sign to see where drivers are at in their mind. So the question I got for you, if the opportunity presents itself, what can you do different to seal the deal tonight versus what you did the last time we were on air?
Good question. maybe you could give me an answer for that one.
My opinion, really, you listen to me, you might finish last. So I don't know if you really want my answer.
Hey, at least it'd be finishing though.
Yeah, it'd be finishing, just not in the pay, just not in the pay range. I'll tell you this, Ambrose. If you ask Ambrose, he will tell you the ways to win this race tonight. So maybe he's about your best bet.
Absolutely, man.
But with that being said, real fast, anybody you want to shout out and thank tonight, friends, family, sponsors, etc.
I got to give you a big shout out for the broadcast here, and Mr. Jimmy Crow and John Ward helping out, and all the guys that help out. Great group here.
Yes, sir, buddy. Well, right now, with just 4 minutes left to go, Carl Lingle, fastest in practice. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Some of these interviews, they never disappoint. So right now, we worked 3.5 minutes. Tell you, man's looking to really needing to turn his luck around. James Waring sitting in second. It's been a very rough stretch for the driver to 13. Had very great success. He's had great success before. Unfortunately, the wins just haven't been able to fall his way. And James Waring wasn't there really looking to rewrite some of that, try to get the victory lane tonight. Keith McCullough Jr. just entered the event. Ambrose Knievel, Jason Branch, Casey Sprinkle, Austin Green all have not posted a lap yet with 11 drivers. That will be 16 drivers so far lined up, and there's still time to enter tonight's event. Of course, still to come tonight, MMS Money Racing Series. They will be live on deck immediately, or just about immediately following the conclusion of this HGR race. Richard Elliott goes 9th quickest with the 52.07. Zachary Harry making his debut tonight right now, sent 8th quickest. Of course, we talked to John Ward. Let's see who to interview next with just under a minute, just over a minute and a half. Let's put the new kid on the spot, why don't we? Zachary Harry, Gary Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, buddy, first off, pleasure to meet you tonight. Have you on HGR. I believe this is the first time I've ever interviewed you, so I want to ask you this question: what's your game plan going into a race like this? How do you plan on attacking tonight, and just what's the strategy altogether?
I'm just gonna hang out in the back and see where I can come out through at the end of the day.
Well, buddy, of course, I don't know how familiar you are with these Gen 6 cars, but I want to ask you, what's the one thing that you've noticed just running around in practice? Like, what have you noticed that can be a very significant advantage to you or anybody really running in the pack tonight?
I just got to just keep your line, keep your car straight. Make sure that your car is kind of straight whenever you hit, bump drafting.
All right, buddy. Well, look forward to seeing how you're doing your debut on the Raging Idiot Racing Network. Right now, sent 8th quickest. Best of luck to you tonight.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. That is said, practice concluded. Carl Lingle will be fastest in practice tonight. Yeah, we'll get set for qualifying. So who's the first one to attempt to post a lap? You got 5 minutes to post one lap. You got one car rolling. Michael Barksdale is going to be the first one to attempt to post a lap, so long as nothing does not happen. Of course, Barksdale, one of them looking to turn around his momentum after Friday night. So Barksdale set the first lap, followed by the 92 of John Ward. Will right now be second. Carl Lingle third. Kenneth McCullough Jr. Then will be the first four up to post the lap. Couple more drivers rolling out. Jason Branch, Jeremy Osborne, James Waring as well. So at the line, Michael Barksdale will start his first lap. Right on board now with the 00. Very steady, only 185 mile an hour down the back straightaway. Of course, we saw him practicing in practice. His qualifying time is going to be interesting to see how he improves on that lap time at the line. The first lap by Michael Barksdale, 52.063. So now Ward, Lingle, McCullough. The next one's trying to knock Barksdale off. Ward will do it. 52.052 barely does knock Barksdale off. James Waring, I believe, is up next. He is, so is Jason Branch. Carl Engel slides into fourth. Waring now to the bottom of the track, trying to shave off as much time as he can. Branch slides in fifth. James Waring at the line. Fifth quickest. Zachary Harry. Lap will not count. Justin Johnson slides in ninth. Kevin Tipton sixth. Michael Wingo now. Gonna attempt his time at the pole. About a tenth off through the first half of the track, and Wingo at the line. Not enough. 10th quickest. Casey Sprinkle. Richard Elliott will focus in on Sprinkle at the line. With a minute to go, Casey Sprinkle, fourth quickest. And Sprinkle loops it around. And with 54 seconds to go, that will probably be it for several drivers. Ambrose Knievel, Joseph Allen, Austin Green have not posted a lap. John Ward, third quickest in practice, on the pole here in qualifying. So with that being said, top 10 as we go down the order: John Ward, Kenneth McCullum, Michael Barksdale, Casey Sprinkle, Richard Elliott as the top 5. Carl Engel, James Waring, Kevin Tipton, Jason Branch, Jeremy Osborne rounds out the top 10. And that'll do it. Well, that being said, we'll wait for some of the drivers to go ahead and load in. Richard Elliott's in, Casey Sprinkle in. See if we can't pull up the ring general himself. Jimmy Crow, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy real fast?
Yes, sir.
Buddy, we've seen the last couple of races. These cars that never fail to put on a show. What can we expect tonight for some of the people that are new that could be watching tonight?
Well, main thing is if we can avoid the cautions that can be avoided, that's one thing that really hurts money racing, because money racing, you know, the racing is going to be a little more intense because a little bit of skin in the game. But if we can avoid the cautions that can be avoided, we should be able to go green pretty good. I think guys are starting to get used to the runs. We're getting guys ready for that PGR SummerSlam. Would like to see these guys do good. We got some good mentors in the field. We got Kenny and John. They're helping the guys out and giving back also. They're not just taking. So, yeah, just hoping for a good race, brother. Appreciate you calling. Appreciate all you do for us.
Yeah, no problem, buddy. We'll drop it back down to the race control booth.
Yep. Hey, and thank you to all the drivers.
Right now, what he alludes to, the SummerSlam 499, a PGR esports event. The biggest super speedway money racing on iRacing. Thursday, July 31st through Sunday, August 3rd. See some of the best restrictor plate drivers try to take to the high banks of Talladega. And I'm going to be one actually going to be looking forward to watching it. You can catch all of that July 31st through August 3rd live on PGR Esports. That being said, we'll go through the starting grid tonight. John Ward on pole, Kenneth McCullough starting second, Michael Barksdale third, Casey Sprinkle fourth, Richard Elliott fifth, Carl Lingle sixth, James Ware and Kevin Tempton seventh and eighth, Jason Branch, Jeremy Osborne ninth and 10th, Justin Johnson, Michael Wingo. That's the fast 12. Running out the field, Austin Green, Joey Allen, Ambrose Knievel, Zachary Harry. That will be the field for tonight, 16 cars. "42 laps on deck." Of course, following this, MMS as well tonight. Pretty much end the weekend on a good note. Of course, you can catch all that live following the conclusion of this race. So we will worry. We're going to worry about MMS when it gets here. But speaking of MMS, the driver starting second. Kenneth McCullough Jr. going for 3 straight. Or we're going for 3 straight wins live on the Race You Get It Racing Network. I believe he's going for 3 out of the last 5 Super Speedway races. But he knows he'll have his work cut out for him tonight. 16 of the best HGR has to offer. Bring them to the restart zone. John Ward, Kenneth McCullough on the front row. And we are rolling. Down back straightaway, John Ward up to cover McCullough. For the moment, Casey Sprinkle pushing the 03 as well. Here comes Barksdale and Elliott to the bottom of the track. Of course, you're already seeing drivers pushing already this early in the race. Track position is going to be the main thing tonight in the pit stops. Right now at the line, John Ward will lead the first laps tonight. Immediately single file. Top 5, Kevin Tempton. The last one, that's 7. The first one's to be single file. Carl Lingle trying to look for redemption after a great run Friday night, running in 4th. Right now you see Jeremy Osborne, Michael Wingo now bottom lane, deteriorating very fast here, and I feel like these drivers are going to try to, well, as I say that, Michael Wingo dropped to the bottom, but I was going to say, seem like drivers knowing to take it easy tonight for the first half of this race. 42 laps, going to be 40 to go at the line. Going back to the field, there's a 2x2 action. Michael Wingo dropped to the bottom, does not go nowhere with him. As a matter of fact, losing spots right now, bleeding spots. See Justin Johnson jumps to the bottom with Jason Branch and Zachary Harry now trying to pull that bottom lane back up to the front. About Casey Sprinkle, always a threat whenever we come to these HGR events and these money racing events. About 3 wide further back, Justin Johnson. Still 3 wide, nobody went with him. Harry Osborne trying to cover him, and right now these drivers are going to have to try to, really these drivers are just going to have to try to get all this straightened out for the moment. You see everybody migrating back to the top side of the track. So right now it's just a feeling out process. Drivers trying to really just trying to make stuff happen, trying to see where their car's at, how they can formulate runs. Probably right now just saving a little bit of fuel at the moment. John Ward's led every lap so far, but then again, one has to wonder when will Ward drop to the back, knowing that he may have to save a little bit of fuel here, or he might just try to run it green the whole night. I mean, if he can run it, if Ward can get on and off pit road in first and stay right where he's at, definitely going to have a great chance at winning tonight pit road. Pit road really going to be the key through all of this. How drivers can get on and off pit road, no black flags, for sure no wrecking. It's really just going to be, it's really a game of chess. Especially whenever you got to go from almost 200 mile an hour down to 55. Just like that. Yeah, one of them. Ambrose Knievel. Misty started the race, so right now he is 24 seconds and counting off the pack. You see a couple more drivers trying to make something happen. Jason Branch. And again, nobody goes with him. Well, this is showing you drivers who wants to get to the front. You look at Michael Wingo. But it's showing you drivers who want to get to the front versus drivers who are just trying to ride and play it safe. It's just the mindset that goes into it. Some guys, they want to go hard early, save later. Other guys just want to start saving right from the get-go. Right now it's been all John Ward, led all 6 laps so far. Keith McCullough, Casey Sprinkle right on his bumper, as is about 14 other drivers. See Wingo still trying to make that bottom lane work. Well, at some point, somebody's going to go to the bottom. Drivers are going to start thinking, man, I really hate going back here. There they are, back there 3 wide again for the moment. Back to 2 already. As they stay single file, you see Wingo on the bottom with the one of Zachary Harry now, and everybody will migrate right back up to the top. The one thing these drivers got to be careful with, they do not want to lose the draft. It is so much easier to lose the draft with these cars than just about any car that we've been racing. And you see now, they don't hurry up, get back in line, they're going to lose to the 23 of Joseph Allen. Pretty badass looking paint job. The 23 is running tonight. But meanwhile, right now, saw John Ward leading for the moment, as I believe Wingo, Harry, and Branch have lost the draft officially, continuing to bleed time off the leaders. Right now, as they go single file back down the straightaway. And pretty much this is what you'll see for a while. Not really. I know the last couple of times we ran these Gen 6 cars, it's been a bit chaotic to say the least. Drivers going 2 and 3 wide, making stuff happen, making stuff work. I believe they've realized at this point, let's just ride. Just ride, no need to really push. It's great action for the fans and for myself to watch. It ain't so fun for the drivers whenever they go wrecking down the back straightaway, flipping all over the place. So I think these drivers got in their head, let's just ride for the moment. 33 to go. I think Joseph Allen's lost the draft as well. Indeed he has. So right now 11 cars still this pack. tail ended by Justin Johnson. And of course, and another thing drivers mentioned about these cars, how very hard it is to control this car whenever it's on older tires. The older the tires, the more the car wants to slip and slide around. Really, it goes down to a handling thing, which you really would not expect at a super speedway track. Mainly drivers able to keep it full throttle, but tonight with these cars, it's every bit as handling can get. Right now, nobody daring to make a move still. Now we're at 31 to go. It's really just about strategy again. We'll focus back in. There's the 82 of Justin Johnson. That's about a 4-second gap. As you see, James Waring up into the wall. It's going to cause Johnson to make a little bit of evasive action. Now can he regroup and try to not lose the draft? But you want to see what about 4 seconds looks like to Justin Johnson. Right on board Michael Wingo. That's about what 4 seconds looks like off the lead pack. Right now you're right on board with Michael Wingo. Right now running in the 12th position, trying to just trying to regroup at the moment. Not really nothing you can do. It's just these four guys, Wingo, Branch, Harry, and Allen at the moment. So right now there just ain't nothing you can do but just ride. Hope a caution comes out as Ambrose Knievel's about to go a lap down. Of course, Knievel missed the start of the race. See several drivers ducking to the bottom. 1, 2, Elliott and Barksdale. They're not really going nowhere. So another thing got to take into consideration as well. See, they're about to go 3 wide back. Another thing got to take into consideration as well. Look at the gap between, well, what was the gap between Sprinkle and McCullough. The gap from the 30 to the 7. Another reason you'll see these drivers dive to the bottom. Christopher Carter mentioned it best when he was helping broadcast the other night. The more these cars get hotter, the more the engine itself will start to wear. You'll see drivers on occasion flashing the red. Red's like sticking your head in the snake tank on Fear Factor. You don't like it. Whenever the car is going red, that car is about to blow if you do not get clean air. The only issue is if it goes into the red once or twice, that's okay. But the more that car starts to overheat, the more and more it's just going to wear it out anyway. So you could be nowhere near the red. You could be pushing 250 on the water temperature, and that engine could blow. That's why you see drivers, they might not be flashing in the red, but they might be trying to go in and cool it back off before they get to that point. The more cooler the engine is, the better the engine performs. Well, right now, Richard Elliott's move drops him all the way to the back along with Barksdale. Elliott was running about the 6th or 7th spot at the time. I mean, the way these drivers have been front to tail most of the time, you got to wonder, you're still seeing gaps like Lingo's putting to the back of the 59. You'll see Casey every once in a while get off the back bumper of the 03, like right there, a little bit of gap. Maybe be a little bit wider. All that's just trying to keep this motor cool. Barksdale off the wall off of 4. All right, now it's been a pretty calm race so far at night. 27 laps to go, 26 at the line. And still 11 drivers with a round to win this race. Apologize about that. See if we can get. We're going to take about a lap and a half here. A little bit of crank it up, just listen to the sights and sounds of these Gen 6 cars. See, drivers already migrated back down to the bottom. They could be in fuel-saving mode right now if they weren't already. I believe several drivers actually came in. No. Just some drivers have. Some drivers lost the draft again. That lead pack keeps getting smaller and smaller as the run goes on. Fastest lap so far has been laid down by the one of Zachary Henry. Right now, running in 13th spot, almost 6 seconds off the pace. See how long they've been going on a stint here. Been going 19 laps at the moment. So again, green flag pit stop, and that's to be coming up here within the next probably 2 to maybe 8 laps. It's just a rough estimate. Or if it's John Ward, really don't want to get turned. You've already led the most laps at 19 tonight. Nobody's really tried to challenge the 92 right now, so. And here they come. Oh, Eagle gets turned! Into John Ward, into Kipton. Caution is out. Osborne through the grass, and it's exactly what I thought would happen. Michael Wingo through the grass. Tipton still in the grass. Well, that changes everything, and John Ward with damage. I'm going to go ahead and service the car anyway. Don't know what damage there is to that car. We're going to try to get a look at it. Not much to the right rear of the car. Left rear, no, might be one of the ones that gets away with it. Well, let's see if we can go back and really put together what happened here. Going into the pits, you're really not going to be able to see it from this angle. See if we can't go with Osborne. Ah, man. Looks like drivers just weren't prepared for others start braking. Well, let's go back and look at it. It's going to start with Carl Engel. Or it's going to start with one of them here, so. Pretty big gap to the 30 from the 7. So right here, drivers coming, they're already dipping down. I think it was a little bit late on the 30, trying to decide if he wanted to stay out or keep on going. The 7 really, I don't know if the 7 anticipated the 30 going into the pits or what he was trying to do. If the 30 was trying to get into the pits, it was going to be a very late entrance or arc on the pit road. I don't think the 7 was prepared for it. John Ward going through the grass, had a great run going. Don't know the extent of the damage to that car. I'll tell you what it does do, as I believe some drivers letting cars come by here, get their lap back perhaps. Oh, no. John Ward's behind the pace car, so somehow the 03 and the 87 have gotten in front of the pace car. And so much for green flag pit stops taking place. This will pretty much re-wreck everybody. It'll definitely going to be a big break for some of them that lost the pack. James Waring, Michael Wingo, not Barksdale, but Zach Henry or Harry, Jason Branch, just to name a few. Let's see if we can't get a word with Carl Lingle. Carl Lingle, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
That was the first time I got crabs. Oh, hey.
I don't know what that means. I'm not going to ask either. knowing the team you come from, I ain't going to ask. But, well, buddy, it seemed like it was hard to tell if you were trying to determine if you wanted to come into the pits or not. What do you feel like? What was your initial plan before that whole incident started?
I kind of just figured I started to dive down pit road with them, but yeah, I might have just let off a little too soon.
Maybe so. It's hard to tell. Right, the way the racing's been, it's been very conservative up until this point. Do you feel like everybody's in the fuel window now to maybe turn it up a notch?
I think it might be getting that way, but might get back into a rhythm again.
Well, buddy, we look forward to see. We'll drop you back up to where we pulled you out. Won the green here. Best of luck. Hope we still talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, man.
That was Carl Lingle's side of things. Appreciate the 6 viewers who stopped by tonight on a Sunday night to watch 16 of the best HGR has to offer. Some of these will be running in the MMS race following the conclusion of this HGR event. I advertised it earlier and I'll advertise it again. For those of you who have seen a couple of decals on the card, SummerSlam $4.99 coming up soon. As PGR puts on one of their crown jewel events. You can catch the action on PGR Esports on Thursday, July 31st through Sunday, August 3rd. And for the biggest super speedway money racing event that iRacing has to offer. I think they got like 200 entries. They got to run several heat races. That's why it's starting Thursday. The main event probably will run on Sunday night. You're not going to want to miss it, or you're not going to want to miss the end of this race. It's going to be 19 to go when they take the green flag. We are rolling. So somebody got caught up in a wreck. John Ward did not lose hardly any spots. As a matter of fact, he retained the lead for the most part. Casey Sprinkle now trying to work the outside lane. Expect the intensity to maybe start going up. 19 to go. Drivers might not be willing to ride single file. Several names, new names at the front. Zachary Harry, one of them. Barksdale, Richard Elliott, Johnston, Timpton, all lingering right outside of the top 5. So a 3 wide already starting to happen. You see it. So we've made it. Fuel's no longer an option. So in classic form, whenever these money races here, pretty much just run your course. Figure out whichever way you can get to the front. You see Austin Green and Keith McCullough with James Waring trying to form a 3rd lane up there on the top side. Well, Ward's been able to really hold on to a lead with ease up until now. But now he's about to start blocking 1, maybe 3 lanes. But why does he move up and open the door for the one to get out there? Exactly why. You see the run down the back straightaway. Middle lane has always have a great run down the back straightaway. It's called working the lane control. You want to control both lanes. You know that the outside lane is going to really get a great run off the corners. You just saw it off of turn 2. But the outside lane really gives up entry to the corner. So if you're John Ward, you're wanting to try to work both of them. You're wanting to get the run down the back straightaway, keep somebody like Casey Sprinkle behind you. But then you're immediately wanting to get back to the bottom before the bottom lane gets to your inside. One of the best to do it is John Ward. James Waring up and into the wall. No caution, keeps it straight, but it looks like the car might be broke. The meatball damage and the bad luck continues for James Waring. Well, that being said, look what it has really done to the pack. It's really separated a lot. Back to single file now. Why did they immediately go back to single file? Look at the separation. They have almost a 2-second separation to the other half of this pack. So they're trying to hurry up, get formed up, really make it between these 6-7 cars. Of course, being side by side back there is not helping their case neither. Just going to be side drafting and slowing each other down. Something they do not want to do. They don't need to do right now with 16 to go. Coming to 15. They need to hurry up and get single file. They got the majority, only 6 cars in that front pack to the remaining cars in this one. They've got it settled down now, so they ought to really catch the front pack with ease. And 15 to go right now, the top 6 as they run this front pack. John Ward, Casey Sprinkle, Michael Barksdale, Austin Green, Keith McCullough Jr., and Richard Elliott. That's the top 6 in this front pack. You see McCullough and Elliott off the bat bumper to 87 for the moment. As long as they don't lose a draft outside, potentially overheating could be a factor in it. Well, drivers have said they could push a lot longer in these cars than what they could in the trucks or the Xfinity, but still at some point you're going to keep pushing. That car is going to eventually start overheating. Right now, 14 to go. John Ward's led 26 laps out of the 28 that's been completed. Keith McCullough led 2 under caution. Well, I'll tell you a couple sleepers that I see. Michael Barksdale, Austin Green out there in that pack. Richard Elliott, one of them. Richard Elliott's led the most laps the last 3 HGR events. Unfortunately, has not been able to get the win neither time. So Elliott's a sleeper. Barksdale Austin Green. Casey Sprinkle is never a sleeper whenever it comes to these races, though. There to 59. Knows how to get it done from second. And of course, drivers have said in these cars you do not want to be leading at the white flag, as James Waring's about to go one lap down. Kind of surprised that pack back here. Well, that's why they've since been split up. So right now, for the top six, they are in a payout position. They're in a payout range. As for seventh on back, Michael Wingo, the engine has expired on a 25 machine. You hear it too. Look at the RPM. I'm sure he's in fourth gear, and the RPM should not be that low. A fast repair coming and a night done for Michael Wingo, it looks like. Let's go back and look at it real quick, see what happened. He knew it too. He immediately tried to get to the bottom. He knew that was blowing up. So, decent run for Michael Wingo has now just gone up in smoke. No pun intended, by the way. What does that do for that second pack? That hurts them even more. The less cars they have, the more difficult it's going to be to get caught back up to these top six. Right now, if nothing does not happen, I believe everybody in this top six right here is going to cash out. But the great thing, something HGR has incorporated, the the seventh on down, they get a free spin. This little spinner has all the names on the drivers who finished outside the pay range. And I believe tonight one extra driver might receive a little bit of a bonus. Don't know it yet. Don't hold me to it. But I believe that's what they're in store tonight. So if you're seventh on back, from what it sounds like, you could potentially still gain a little bit of money out of the deal. But with 9 to go, the last thing any of these drivers here want to see is a caution. Of course, right now, coming to 8 to go, nobody really seemed like they want to make a move at this point. Michael Wingo has came back out. Unfortunately, one lap down in the 16th position. Right there you see it, these drivers, they've got lined back up for the moment. You see Justin Johnson getting took too wide by James Ware and Johnson fall back in line, and they really need to get as formed up as they can. If they can get, let's see, 7. If they can get 7, if these 7 or 8 cars can get lined up and just be able to ride each other's coattails, they will have a chance to get up there and compete for this win. Right now, does not seem like to be the case at the moment. Biggest movers of the race so far was 7 to go before they started. Austin Green up 9 spots. Joseph Allen and Zachary Harry both up 5 spots. Casey Sprinkle up 2. They are your biggest movers of the race tonight. now. I'm pretty sure right now nobody's just wanting to make a move. They're coming up on the lap car of Ambrose Knievel. All right, now top 6, Ward, Sprinkle, Barksdale, Green, McCullough, Richard Elliott. Well, 5 to go. If anybody's going to try and make a move, they might want to go and start playing it now. You see Barksdale, a little bit more of a distance to what? A little bit more of a distance to Sprinkle. I thought for sure he might try to make the move. But right now, staying single file. Well, this pack back here has made up some ground. Ever so slightly. It was 7 seconds. Now it's about 6.6. Just under 6.5 or just over now. They're coming. They didn't wait too late though. The best thing they can do is have Ambrose Knievel right here. Push them or try to stay with them or even push him. You see Knievel gonna go up to the top if he can blend back in line. It'll be great for them, but right now, not like he's going to be able to. With 4 to go. Pretty much everybody glued to the bat moment. I guarantee you they'll wait till the last lap. If anybody's going to try to get greedy, they're going to wait till probably the last lap, try to set up whenever they know that second pack is not going to be a factor, because if they make it now and they get too wide, that second pack's coming. At least wait till the last lap. So if you're Barksdale or Sprinkle or Green, just to name a couple, at least you know you're not going to lose no money off of this deal. You'll still take away a little bit of pocket change, get you through the week. All right, now we're coming up, 2 to go. Really, John Ward won the MMS race Friday night, carrying that momentum into the night, has led 37, going to be 38 laps of 40. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Ward will also be running MMS. It's just going to be interesting to see down the back straightaway. We're going to the white flag, so if anybody's going to make a move, now's the time. That second pack only about 5.5 seconds back. I do not believe they're going to be a factor in this. So it's between these 6. We're coming to the line. See, Sprinkle really gets off the back bumper of Ward. Is he going to try to hang Ward out to dry here? Sprinkle goes to the outside. There's the move. With a hell of a run. Up the outside. White flag. Casey Sprinkle. Nobody goes with him. Here comes Green. Taking Sprinkle 3 wide up the middle. Well, Austin Green, Kevin McCullough, Richard Elliott, they know they're not going to lose no money unless they wreck. So why not go for it? Ward able to hold them off down one half of the track. In the 3 and 4, can Elliott, Sprinkle, and Barksdale get caught back up? But you see Kez McCullough off of 4, right off the back bumper to 87, but right now Ward's a sitting duck. Jeremy Osborne to the apron. Green to the inside and at the line. Photo finish. John Ward takes it at Talladega. Woo-hoo! What a run. And they're flipping over him. Kicks the sprinkle upside down. What a run by John Ward. We'll see if we can go and get the photo finish camera lined up here. Green looked to the bottom. McCullough goes with him. And coming to the line. Let me back it up just a hair. About another 500 feet, maybe even 100 feet, and Green has it here. We're going to pull up John Ward here in a second. Man, just cannot get it lined up. Try it again here in a second. Tell you what I will do. Okay. Damn. Right there. That's what I wanted. Go ahead and pull John Ward in here. My God. Hold on, real fast. What does it say? There it is, right there. 8 thousandths of a second. John Ward, Garrett Jenkins, you must be the happiest man right now. Winner on Friday, winner on Sunday. How does it feel?
Heck yeah, that momentum carried over, man. Anytime I come up here talking to you after the race, it's a good one.
Yes, sir. And the official margin, 8 thousandths of a second. Were you expecting them to really make a move on the last lap, or did you think, well, everybody's going to cash out if we stay right here, so maybe they won't make a move? And then Casey was the one that started it, but were you expecting it, or did you feel like maybe we're just going to ride like we are?
Yeah. Oh, the last 5 laps, I was like, I'm a sitting duck. They're all gonna jump out, and they got teammates back there, and I was just hoping they didn't, and I knew they were. You don't want to be leading, but I wasn't gonna throw any vicious blocks or anything. I was gonna try to keep it on the bottom. I seen the momentum coming, and I went up, but they didn't hang me out. Austin, he could have done me dirty. He could have jumped out with Kenny and went around me anytime he wanted. He seemed like he pushed me there, and I really appreciate it. I probably owe him one for that. But yeah, it was pretty good and clean. Like I say, he could have went around there. He could have went around me, and he didn't. So that was props out to Austin Green.
Yes, sir, everybody. It was a great race. It was a very conservative race, unlike the last 3 we've seen with these cars. I got 2 more questions. First one, who do you want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc.
Thank you, Jesus, the good Lord, HGR, and Dega Pros Motorsports.
And I want to ask you one more question. It's kind of a big one. Whether they'll know it or not, I've been shouting out the SummerSlam 499 coming up. I wanted to ask, how does all this practice, how does that make you prepare for what is going to be a week's worth of, or a half a week's worth of preparation, just trying to even make the full 188 laps? How is all this preparing you, and what mindset are you in to try to prepare for the biggest money race of the summer?
Yeah. It's a big race for sure. Probably the biggest race, and the cars haven't changed too much. The main thing is running with other drivers and people that's going to be in the race with you, and learning how the lines move and what drafts go and what people to work with and stuff like that. But I'm definitely learning, and I'm working on my qualifying as well. I know I got the pole there, and I'm trying to get in tip-top shape. There's some guys that are going to be pros in that race, and everything you can do to get better, and you just need to try and do it and just try to get seat time and get better and better and better.
Well, buddy, we wish you the best of luck in that race and through the heat races to come with it. And as for tonight, are you looking to go 2 in a row? Sweep the Sunday night weekend.
It'd be nice, but I doubt it. Well, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try.
I know you are, buddy. With that being said, though, John Ward, the 2023 PGR champion, wins tonight in HGR, looking to go 2 in a row. Appreciate your time, buddy.
You got it.
Gonna pull up Austin Green next. Austin
No, he
Green,
couldn't
Garrett
have.
Jenkins, you got a copy?
Yeah, what's up?
Well, buddy, man, another 100 feet, you probably had it. Did you feel like you could have made the move just a little bit earlier, or was it pretty much make it now and hope I can get ahead of you?
I mean, I feel like looking back on it, I probably could have tried to make it earlier. That whole last lap was a little bit of a not quite what I guess we were trying to do. Casey was up front, so I know he was kind of trying to figure out how he was going to battle it out with Ward, and then Kenny was behind me, so we were obviously, me and him were going to try to make a run on the last lap there, and we saw Casey jump up, which we were a little surprised at, so we tried to go up to help him, and then I don't know if he just thought we had too big of a run or what the deal was, but once he jumped out of the way and the way everything just kind of sorted out, it put me behind Ward, and I was more than happy to try to push him because I had Kenny behind me and just tandem all three of us away and hopefully guarantee us all a top three and then race out at the line. And I thought Kenny had a run coming behind him, which was kind of why I kept waiting because I was waiting to see if all of a sudden he'd get a run back to me and then try to go. But eventually I was like, all right, let's just go for it here. And I was going to jump to the outside of Ward to try to make the move, but I felt like I started to slightly hook him, and obviously I didn't want to do that, so I bailed out just a little bit and then tried back on the inside, but it wasn't enough.
Yes, sir, buddy, and I got to imagine 0.008 of a second is brutal. Knowing that just another 50 feet, you probably have it, but can we expect you to try to go at one more spot following the conclusion of this broadcast, the MMS race coming up? Do you feel like you can make it one more spot?
Not sure yet if I'm going to make that one, but I guess if I do, for sure. But, I mean, at the end of the day, especially with these kind of cars, I'm more than happy to just have somebody to push. I always feel like I'm more comfortable pushing someone than I am getting someone who's not sure if I'm able to be pushed. So I was happy when I got behind Ward there, knowing that I could just push him, most of the way back and then keep it a race between all of us. So it was a pretty fun race there.
Well, Austin Green, in case we don't see you for the MMS race or anybody wanting to shout out friends, family, sponsors, etc., the floor is yours.
Yeah, definitely the teammates, Ken McCullough Jr. and Casey Sprinkle did a good job. It's tough because I know I think Jimmy kind of refers to some of these guys as not the little guys, but the non-pros, and you can't really think of it that way because everybody in here is still more than capable, and I've learned that, believe me, in the last few weeks in these. But it's tough because I keep saying it. I'd be more than happy to work with anybody, but it just feels like it's tough to get the help. But I'll stop yapping. Nonetheless, again, thanks to the teammates, and big thanks to Jimmy for putting it on. Thanks to you for broadcasting, and go have some fun broadcasting that MMS race later.
Yes, sir, but it's going to be a blast, as it always is. Austin Green will come home second tonight, only by the narrowest of margins. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thanks.
Speaking of a driver, well, we know one driver's pulling double duty tonight. He's just joining me in the booth. Kenneth McCauley, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, buddy, P3 tonight. Were you expecting Casey to be the first one to make the move, and really how did that set up everything going down the back straightaway and off of 4?
Well, I wasn't really sure what Casey had done there. We were all kind of communicating there together because I really wanted to get Austin there, my teammate, a win. Try to get him a W tonight, but glad Ward got it there. Just glad none of us made a mistake there at the end and cost any of us any positions there. It was a fun race, though.
It was a very fun race. It was a very strategic race. Trying to use them college degree words, but I do want to ask you, does it surprise you a little bit? The race pretty much looked like it was pretty much a fuel-saving race from start to finish. Of course, we had the caution entering the pits. But were you a bit surprised that we hadn't seen the 2 and 3 wide with these cars like we have seen in times past, or does it really not surprise you at all?
It doesn't surprise me. Once you get, a good 5 or 6 guys committed to one lane and everybody stays there, it makes it really hard for, anybody else to get another lane going. And then everybody winds up moving in the same lane, and then you get a single file. Like that. I personally don't like the single file. I like the racing. But when everybody's doing it, you kind of got to fall in line and just just buy your time, be patient.
Well, I'll say this, buddy. You've been on a hell of a roll. I'm gonna ask you this next very obvious and important question, and then I'll let you get ready. Hopefully, we'll interview you after the MMS race as well. But is there anybody want to shout out tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks Jimmy for putting it on. It's fun racing over here. It's a little bit more of a laid back atmosphere than some of these other big races we do. I enjoy it a lot. Bunch of good drivers over here. Thank you for doing the broadcast, and thank my teammates.
Well, that being said, I know I said last question, but I know in the short time I've known you, I think I pretty much know you're going to be one of over 100 drivers trying to compete in the SummerSlam 499. Am I correct before I ask this question?
Yes, sir. I'll be there.
Well, buddy, then I'm going to ask you the same question I asked John Ward, then I'm going to let you go. But knowing that there's going to be some of the best drivers that have ever seen a restrictor plate on iRacing, some of the best money racers, and guys you've never heard of, and some of them close friends and family alike. How does this type of money racing between your league and HGR and all the other ones, how is that preparing you both physically and mentally for the daunting task that is coming up here?
Well, I know I've ran to like the Podium 500 for the last 4 years, 5 years, however long it's been, and I've made the Podium 500 4 out of 5, I think it was. So, not really sweating it. You can always get caught up in somebody else's mess there and get yourself taken out of it and not even make the feature. But all you can do is be patient and just hope for the best.
Well, Kenneth, buddy, we're going to be wishing you luck throughout that whole week, preparing for it. Thursday, July 31st through August the 3rd on a Sunday. Look forward to seeing the MMS car out there trying to win one of the biggest races of the summer. Good luck, buddy, and hopefully I'll talk to you at the end of this, at the MMS race coming up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir. With that being said, we're going to bring in Casey Sprinkle, and then we're going to get ready to cover the MMS race coming up. Casey Sprinkle, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, I want to ask you, did you plan all along to try to make a move for the win, or did you feel like, or did you try to just get the car into some fresh air and went a little too high? What was the setup on that last lap entering one?
Really, I knew Austin and Kenny were going to go up, and I figured Richard would have gone up with them on the white flag. And I wanted to make the move on John, but I wanted to get clear of John, so that's why I backed up the run. And I was burning hot the whole time. I was in the red, so I wanted clean air, but I wanted to jump out on John just to get back up in front of him. But then whenever I didn't get back in front of him, that's when Austin and Kenny jumped up, and then I moved up because they were going to have too big a run. And by the time they said jump back down, I was too late. So it was just I regret everything that I did there, but it's just I wasn't thinking and didn't have enough time to really think either once I made the move on John. And then I got behind Richard, which sucks because I wish Richard would have cleared me, but he just barely didn't. I had to blip the throttle, so we got a big run. Me and Richard got a big run, and then by the time we didn't have enough momentum to make it back up to them sideways. So, but I had fun. I mean, even though it was just riding, me and John were pushing like crazy, and Barksdale too. We were going like 205 every single corner. I'm surprised that second pack didn't catch up.
And I want to ask, you're the first driver, I think, to mention since we go into this car, unless I've asked them, to mention the overheating the car about blowing up. We know that these cars, they can push longer than what the typical cars we see on here. But about how long is that? Is it about 4 to 5 laps you can push straight? And then how difficult is it to really try to get them cars out of the red?
Unfortunately, it's definitely not 4 to 5 laps. I wish, but probably about 2.5. Like if you're on 200, but whenever you're at 260, you can only push like a straightaway in a corner. These cars, for some reason, I think they used to be like really hard to cool down, but now they're decent. It's just you have to get pretty much good clean air. Like I was having to back off John the whole corner, but they do cool down pretty good and you can last a while. But I was differentiating my temps. So like one time, 5 laps straight, I'd drop it down all the way to like 260 something, and then I would go all the way to 290, and then only drop it down to 270. So I mean, the temps is definitely a big key in this car, especially since you can push so hard and you can tandem around the whole track. In some cars, you can't even push in the corners like the Xfinity car, and then others like the truck. In this car, you can push all the way on the track. So temps, I mean, they get pretty bad sometimes, and sometimes you can push for a good bit.
Well, Casey, you know the question coming up next. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc.
My teammates Austin Green, Kenny McCullough, Josh couldn't make it out tonight, but had a ton of fun racing with them. Barksdale and John for that awesome work together we did for like probably 20 laps. Barksdale did a heck of a job pushing me, and John had a heck of a job holding his line. That's why we could get up to like 205. You for broadcasting, and Jimmy Crow for putting on the race.
All right, buddy. It was a hell of a run, but at the end of the day, Casey Sprinkle comes on fourth tonight. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Yep, thank you.
That being said, we'll go ahead and run through the finishing order, get geared up for MMS. So at the line, see Casey Sprinkle at the bottom there. Don't know why it popped it up, but oh well, he'll get a little bit of TV time then. John Ward, Austin Green, Ken McCullough, Casey Sprinkle, Richard Elliott. That's the top 5. John Ward going to try to go for 2 in a row. Sweet the MMS races for the weekend. Michael Barstow, Carl Engel, Jason Branch, Joey Allen, Kevin Tipton. That will round out the top 10. Zachary Harry, Justin Johnson, Jeremy Osborne, James Waring, Ambrose Knievel, and Michael Wingo rounds out the field. Folks, don't go anywhere. Still a lot of racing up. Still a lot of racing to come tonight. MMS about to be on deck, and I will see you. I'll see everybody there for that one. Appreciate you. And let's get ready to end the weekend on a good note.